Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'd like to welcome everybody to the Rotary Club of Gainesville. Today is a very special day as we recap our year, and we thank all of you for everything that you've done to make this such a wonderful and successful year. This is the last time I'm going to say this. So guests and visiting Rotarians joining us virtually on Zoom, please identify yourself in the chat. And if you're watching on YouTube, please register your participation by sending an email to info@rotarygainesville.org. So Pete Inwall, and thank you for doing this all year. They didn't have to hear me sing.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As you know, Tom Summers is a psychologist, and he had a client that is the wife of one of his clients called his office and left a message. Okay, more mic. Oh, closer to the mic. Okay. Man. All right, so let's talk. How about that? Okay. Anyway, the wife of a patient called his office, and she was frantic, and she said, "Dr. Summers, you got to see my husband right away, right away. He's delusional and thinks that he's invisible." And Tom told his secretary, he said, "Call her and tell her that I just can't see him now." We're going to sing God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans wet with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pete. And now we have Laurie to give our invocation. I also would like to thank him for all of the wonderful prayers and invocations we've had this Rotary year. Laurie?
Just two announcements real quick. One is I want to thank Kevin Thorpe for letting me do this invocation. He was scheduled to do that, and but with this great change in leadership we have, and also many of us had the opportunity to attend Dalton Birch's, not Dalton, Dalton Birch's funeral yesterday. Wanted to take that opportunity to have this invocation today. I also want to mention that if you would be in prayer for Craig Carter. Craig was with it on a family vacation in New Hampshire, and he had a heart attack and had a stent put in. He's doing well, and should be back home Thursday. But so just remember, Michelle, I'll mention it in the prayer, but just keep him in your heart and mind. Okay, let's pray together. We come before you today, Heavenly Father, to express our sincere thanksgiving for all the many blessings that you have showered upon us as a result of leadership willing to serve faithfully, and fresh leadership willing to carry the load into the future. Thank you for those who have stepped forward to serve, placing service above self. For our outgoing leadership, we ask you to bless them with rest and recovery from service well done. And for our incoming leaders, we ask you to bless them with energy and vision to lead in a new year of service. We continue in a spirit of thanksgiving as we reflect on the life of Dalton Birch and the years of service he invested right here in Rotary. In the lives of so many of us, faithfully praying, encouraging, cutting up with his quick wit. Our memories are many and fond. And we especially ask your blessings on Aunt Gay. Wrap her in your love, Father, we pray. And we lift up Craig right now in New Hampshire as he recovers. Strengthen Craig and Michelle and the family. Meet those other unspoken needs that we have shared from our hearts in this quiet time of prayer that we're having right now. And in honor of Dalton Birch and his commitment as a faithful Christian minister, we are all going to miss, I pray, in Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you very much, Laura. You may be seated. I don't know if we have any guests today, but at this time is when we traditionally introduce our guests of Rotarians and any visiting Rotarians. The microphone will be coming around.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. I have some guests with me today that I would like to introduce. The first one is Miss Terry Sullivan. Terry, please stand up so we can see who you are. Terry and Bradley Davis. These are the folks that we can credit for taking good care of our property out at Hatchet Creek. Been very close friends of this club for a long time. Please welcome Bradley and Terry. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Okay, Rotarians, I have the pleasure to introduce Ann Polo. Ann is the new Director of Marketing Communications at the Greater Gainesville Chamber.
Hi, Mary Kate Walker. This is my friend Mary Beth, and she is new to Gainesville. She's from West Virginia, and she is looking for volunteer opportunities. She wants to be involved in Gainesville.
My name is Lisa Mueller, and I have the pleasure of having two guests today. Bob Mooney used to be a Rotarian with our club, and he has moved back into town. He works with Top Flight Financial, and he does as a branch manager, and he also does reverse mortgage specialist. So welcome, Bob, back in town and to our club, hopefully. Yeah, you don't have to stand up, Harvey. And so my other guest is Harvey Baxter today, a dear, dear friend and a prior member of our club and members probably of every Rotary club in our area. So.
Get him out of the house.
Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Today I'm with my dear friend Ryan Marsh. He's Assistant Vice President for Development with me at the University of Florida Foundation. And, you know, small world story here. Ron and I worked together at Utah State University around 2007, 2008. And fast forward years later, we meet again in Florida. So please welcome Ryan.
Welcome, Ryan.
See, David, I stood up and he just gave me the mic. Okay, so I don't have a guest, but I have a special book for you and Melanie. Okay, and it's called Waldo's Wisdom, and it's written by Ben Campen. And I understand that Ben is here and he might sign it for you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill.
Awesome book.
That's great. Thank you so much. All right. Well, we don't have any other announcements today. We're going to get right into our recap of the year program. I do want to recognize the cakes that you see today were donated by the new location at Butler Plaza called Nothing But Cakes. They're wonderful people and wonderful cakes. And when I called and told them that we were having kind of a recap of the year and a special meeting, she said, well, let me donate them. So if you're over in Butler Plaza and you see Nothing But Cakes, please thank them on behalf of our Rotary Club. I'm going to go ahead and turn the podium over to David. I would just like to tell you all what a pleasure it has been to serve as your Sergeant at Arms this year. Thank you all so much for all of your help and support everywhere you turn. All of you who took tablecloths, you know who you are. You saw the panic in my face when I didn't know how they were going to get done. And I'll still be around to help, but I have really enjoyed serving in this capacity this year. David, thank you for giving me the honor to do this.
Thank you, Melanie. Let's see. Thank you, Lori. There's Lori over there. That was a wonderful invocation. Thank you for doing that. And I'm glad Kevin allowed you to do it because that was just right on. I'm glad you were here in person doing it. Folks, it was about a year ago, actually, we'll call it a little bit over a year ago, that I stood up here and we talked about the new theme, the new Rotary theme, Serve to Change Lives. And if you recall, kind of an aspect of that theme that I tried to embrace and encourage everyone to embrace is the fact that there are so many different ways we can serve to change lives. I've joked several times that you don't have to be of the stature of Richard Allen or a Brent Williams. You can serve to change lives in so many ways just by helping our club. And I think that's what so many of us have done this year. They're just a great deal of accomplishments that I look forward to going over with you today and thanking everyone for the wonderful year that we've had. So we talked about certain objectives. Again, I'm going back a year, and these were objectives that we had identified really as early as the spring of last year, kind of pursuant to some conversations I had with Matthew and then President Matthew and other past presidents, leaders. And, we just identified some areas that, I think we needed to focus on, especially because we were coming out of the pandemic. The club, our members had done a great job of keeping us intact, but we really wanted to try to focus on some areas. And I think we've done that really well. And I want to kind of celebrate some of those accomplishments and some of those service areas with you guys today. And I'll tell you, before I begin, I would like to say that I need to give Elena Frazier a huge thank you for helping me with this presentation. She has done a wonderful job with my slides and arranging some photographs. We've got a decent amount of time in this, and I've got some kind of prepared words that I've put a lot of thought into, so you'll have to forgive me sometimes when I may appear to be reading, but just know that these are my heartfelt words for you. So again, membership, that's a huge area that we obviously wanted to focus on. Coming out of the pandemic, I think we're all aware of this. Lori, some of the other folks in the clergy know that some of these traditional institutions, churches, service clubs, even great traditional clubs like ours, strong clubs like ours, were affected by the pandemic and kind of even the cultural shift of folks kind of, working, playing, and socializing in a different way. So membership was a focus early on, and I'll tell you, again, we kind of began looking at this last spring when our new member recruiting chair, Richard Allen, created a couple of brochures, these electronic brochures that he came up with, Creative Richard. And these became these effective marketing pieces that we were sending out to folks. And Richard, with his, I call it prolific emailing, was getting in touch with these folks. We're long before they even get to Gainesville and set foot in the Cade. Kim Naoni spoke a little while ago, introduced a guest. I was in touch with Kim Naoni in Las Vegas long before he ever showed up here. And so, Richard, just with his kind of technical proclivity and his not only that, but his ability to frankly connect with folks. He's been tremendous. And this picture, Elaine has got it up. I love this picture, Richard. This is actually when he received our club's highest honor, the Service Above Self Award. And you can see that this is just so Richard Allen, that genuine sense of joy and gratitude. I mean, you just see it in his face. And I remember watching him from right here, and I wanted to just get up and hug him. And he, he conveys that to new members, to everyone, to all of us that know Richard. So I just want to say that, it wasn't just Richard. It was all of us, not only all of us who reached out to new members to try to get them to check out our club. Melanie's sitting here with her new member, Ken Mears. And we've got a lot like that we're going to take a look at here in a few minutes. But it's also the fact that we had a great club, a great saleable product, if you will. That made it a lot easier, right, Richard? Yeah. So Richard, I've got a little small gift up here I'd like to give you. Thank you for your leadership here, and thank you for being a incredibly dedicated member of the Rotary Club of Gainesville. Please, let's give Richard a round of applause. Okay, so I need to pick up the pace a little bit here, I think. Megan's giving me the nod. Yes, I do. But not long ago, we used to do a kind of a formal new member induction ceremony, and we would present each new member with a Rotary pin, which I still have, and I wear that pin all the time. It's the first pin I ever got in Rotary, and I'm very proud when I wear it. But with the pandemic, I'm going to try to stop saying that word, but just things like that, just kind of, we weren't able to do so much. And so a group of us has reached out to all of our recent new members, and we've successfully, thanks to the fact that these new members are engaged, we've successfully got much more than a handful of them to come up and participate in this new member induction ceremony. And I have something that I've been really looking forward to reading. This is our new member induction ceremony as presented by Brent Williams years ago. I'll have to credit Jenny Van Hart for helping me find this, but you all remember Brent, very, very formal, very just did things the right way. So I'm looking forward to doing this. And I'm going to ask the following inductees, along with their Rotarian sponsors, to please come up. Dalton Baker, not Dalton, but Dalton. Billy Dodd, Charity Hall, Aaron Henderson, Cornelia Holbrook, John Kelly, Jane Moraski, Kim Neone, Jenna Ostis, Michael Pellet, Helen Warren, and Tim Williams. Guys, please join me up here to the left of the stage podium. And so here comes Richard. Ken Mears, get up here. Get up here. I'm going to say your name several times by the time the meeting's over. Let's see. Greg, I know that Ryan was not able to be with us today. And Linda, could you come help with the pinning that we're going to do? Okay. So fellow Rotarians, as a member of the Rotary Club of Gainesville, it is my privilege and pleasure to formally induct and welcome new members into our service organization. People who stand before us today have indicated their willingness, interest, and determination to help enhance the quality of life in our shared community, state, nation, and world. Through their involvement in the Rotary Club of Gainesville and by extension in Rotary International, they will have this opportunity. Their sponsors, our fellow Rotarians standing in support now, have indicated their willingness to extend the good works and service of Rotary by inviting these community leaders to join us. Rotarians in this room, please show support to these new members by standing. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worthy enterprise. The Rotary Club of Gainesville has been serving this community continuously since 1918. By coming before us today, you have shown your commitment to helping continue the work of Rotary by embracing the ideal of putting service above self. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the Rotary Club of Gainesville. I encourage each of you to become active members and become fully involved in the service and fellowship activities of our club. Your sponsor and Greg, Richard, and Linda will now present your Rotary pin. Congratulations to you all, and welcome to the Rotary Club of Gainesville. Okay, guys, you may be seated. Okay, so again, something that I want to be sure to point out there. I've got kind of my talking notes and we've got the slides, and I'm trying to make them mesh, but something I want to identify is that these are not just a bunch of members we went out and grabbed. These are good, quality, engaged members. So I'm really excited about that. Moving on membership, folks, I'll be candid that we've certainly had our share of attrition this year. And an area that I want to focus on there are the members that we've lost. I know many, if not most of us in this room, remember Vam York very fondly, and the wonderful, just the amount that they gave back to our community, their generosity. That is Vam and her husband, past District Governor E.T. York. Jimmy Sullivan. We would not have a wild game feast like we have without Jimmy Sullivan. Jimmy was our caretaker out at Hatchet Creek for years and helped us so much with the wild game feast. And then finally, Dalton Birch. This is just a wonderful photo of such a vibrant, dynamic man. Dalton was certainly a dear friend to many of us. And I'll say that Doughton with his record of perfect attendance. I'd say he's probably the record holder in our club, if not the district. So I'd like to, if you would join me, please. In a moment of silence, followed by the ringing of the bell. Thank you. Okay, folks, another aspect of Rotary that we really wanted to be sure to focus on last summer is kind of a sense of togetherness, a solidarity, if you will, in the club, and just our fellowship. That's something that, again, coming out of the pandemic, that's been a challenge, but it's certainly an area that we identified as something we needed to focus on. And what a great way to focus on that. Our weekly meetings, what we have right here. These are weekly opportunities, our luncheons, to connect with each other, visit, and enjoy the traditions of Rotary. Luncheons have been great. I think everyone knows. We've just had wonderful luncheons, and we've got a host of people that we need to thank there, but I want to begin with the folks at the CADE. Amanda and Gwen and Hunter and the rest of you folks, you've been great. The CADE is such a wonderful home for us. We're so happy to be here. And then also Hills Barbecue. We can't leave out the guys like Christopher and Dallas and Becca and Michael Hill, the whole group that's been helping us all year. The food's been wonderful and the service has been fantastic. Okay, where would we be without the AV crew? A whole lot of folks helping out with AV setup, but I want to highlight kind of the guys that are here every Tuesday, and especially the guys that are here at like 10 a.m. when the museum opens, like Wesley Eubank, Matthew Browdy, Brendan Shortley, TJ Pache. You guys have been great help there too. And I want to be sure to point out that Joe Floyd, our secretary, has been wonderful at handling the Zoom side of our meetings, the virtual side, and hosting our Zoom meetings. But I really, Matthew, I want to give you a special nod here as kind of my as my point man here. You've been great. Every time I've needed you with stuff, you've been right there. Thank you. So please give these guys a round of applause. Okay, the greeters. Let's recognize Naomi, Marie, Brendan, Charity Hall, new Rotarian, and of course, Marcia. And Marcia, thank you for handling the raffle all year. I've got a great, actually a letter from Kelly Costomo that I want to read. I'm going to just give you kind of a synopsis of it. This came to us about a month ago, and I kind of set it aside as something I wanted to use to recognize Marcia. This is from the Alachua County School Volunteer Program. Dear Mrs. Eubank and fellow Rotarians, thank you so much for your generous donation of $1,421.84 to cover expenses for the Rotary Reading Safari this year. She goes on to say, there are so many worthy charitable organizations in our community, and I greatly appreciate your support of ours. So let's give Marcia a special round of applause. Clergy, Lori, thank you. Also on the clergy crew, Ian Fletcher, Kevin Thorpe, Eric Spivey, has moved away, but he did a wonderful job when he was with us. And also Stephen Catherine Price. It's beautiful that we're able to enjoy, a non-denominational prayer from different members of different denominations. So thank you, Lori, and the rest of the crew. Music. Thank goodness Gordon Hubble has access to a real piano now, instead of that clinky, the keyboard thing that he was playing. He sounds so much better. And Pete Enwall. Pete, you've got a great voice. I love hearing you sing. Your jokes, maybe the jokes are great. They're funny just in their own right. And I'm going to take kind of a point of privilege here, and I'm going to grant Pete a presidential pardon for his joke telling. I was careful. I almost didn't want to do that because then he's going to tell more next year, but that's on Greg. Okay. Bill Stasowitz has kind of developed kind of an MO of writing just cordial notes to folks when he thinks they're doing a good job. And Melanie shared with me a note that Bill had sent to her, and just said what a wonderful job she's done, and asked, and he didn't ask, he suggested, I believe you are the only female sergeant at arms we've ever had. And, honestly, does anybody know? I have no idea. I had never thought of it, but I know Melanie's been an awesome one. She's been wonderful. Her congenial disposition up here. I mean, we all see it. You see it every Tuesday. Her just pleasant demeanor, the way she handles herself. It's so nice to have someone with a bright smile welcoming us every Tuesday. So, Melanie, thank you so much. Thank you for your support all year. It's a lot more to that job than just being up here. Melanie and I, we've joked about this on Tuesdays. We're texting, talking, about changes to the agenda, etc. But it's been wonderful working with you, Melanie. And I've got a small gift to say thank you. Please give Melanie a round of applause. Eric, what can I say, man? I mean, clearly you've done an incredible job. Clearly, I'll tell you, I knew you would do a great job, and that's why I asked you twice last spring. I had to ask Eric twice. He's kind of in the know about a programs chair. If you Google programs chair, that's like the job nobody wants, because it's on you when the program doesn't work. But man, Eric, you've done a great job, and kind of like Melanie, it's been wonderful building a better friendship with you through Rotary service. It's been wonderful, and I've got a gift here I'd like to give you. Please come up. Okay, we can't jump away from programs that quickly. I want to talk about just kind of, we've had a ton of wonderful programs, and it's hard to highlight specific ones. But, Chris Doring, SEC Media Days, I think we had like 80 people in here, or some crazy number. Amanda probably knows, because she was trying to find chairs from other places. We also had our district governor, Rich Cooper, very early on. And again, credit to Eric. I said, let's get Rich in here early. I want, he wants to come see us. Let's get him in here. We had him here in August. Steve McLean. You know, I don't know how many people are really in the know about this, but the UF Senior Associate Athletic Director is somebody that kind of flies under the radar, but this is the guy that when you've got coaches that, you know, come in and they want to bring their own Steve McLean, nope. He's been here for 30 years and he dropped some knowledge on us about NIL before NIL was even a thing. So that was really a good get to get Steve here, Eric. Something else I wanted to quickly point out, we had a great number of kind of Rotarian-led programs, traditional ones that all went wonderfully. Margaret Combs did a great job with the Veterans Day program. I think you guys remember that. That was, a lot of us maybe got a little bit verklempt with that one. Mike Conroy with youth speakers did an awesome job. Where's Mike? He's here. John Gregory with the middle school science fair projects. And Helen Kornblum, what an awesome job you did with middle school service above self. And then finally, the international auction, when we had an auctioneer wearing a sharp yellow linen suit with a big red tie, calling it out and helping us raise over $23,000 for sustainable Cambodia. Let's give all of you a round of applause for these wonderful programs. Okay, I wasn't kidding when I was talking about that sense of togetherness, that this really was a thing that many of us discussed last spring as a focal point. And another area that's an obvious focus for that is fun and fellowship. TJ Pache has done an incredible job of identifying, you know, what traditional fellowships we were going to continue with. And I'll tell you, again, this has been a kind of a hard space, but TJ's done wonderful. And I'm just going to, I chose 3 fellowships that I want to point out as being particularly successful. We had that seafood event as early as the fall. This was when COVID and pandemic was still really a big thing, but we did it safely. And man, Dwight and Lisa, who were to be our seafood spectacular folks, which we couldn't do, we did this in lieu of that, but it was only our club. It was a great event. The holiday party that Gordon and Kate Hubble hosted along with Pete, that was so much fun, singing carols. If I had more time, I've got a video of Megan singing carol with Pete, and I'd love to play that for you sometime. I'm kidding, she'd kill me. The Lobster Fellowship out at Ed Ellitt's house. That was so much fun. That's a traditional event that I know we all have enjoyed for many, many years. But the other piece with kind of what has made TJ such a valuable club member, chair of this committee, is the fact that he kind of was scheduling these service projects that were, they kind of felt like quasi fellowships. A lot of times they were on Saturday mornings, you know, during the week in the evening. Here we've got his wife Courtney and Greg at the dictionary project, where we had raised, well, we wrote a check for over $1,500 to buy dictionaries for Alachua County schools. And then on the right, we've got Pete and Sarah over at the Bread of the Mighty. I want to give everyone a hand for taking part in these fellowship/service opportunities, and especially TJ for planning them. Okay, and speaking of fellowships, or excuse me, speaking of service, one area I want to identify is Rotary Rebuild. That's an area that that Ryan Thompson, who happens to be our incoming secretary, is the chair of, and we've had we've really made some traction there. That's been a great it's been a great committee that Ryan has led. So let's give Ryan a hand. He's not here, but let's give him a hand. Okay, folks, I'd like to quickly say something about our board of directors. All board members who are here, please stand. And I would ask this to include Linda. You're not a director, but you're the secretary, incoming president-elect. Greg, Wesley, past district governor. All board members, incoming, outgoing. Jeff is not here; he's on Zoom. But thank you for your consistent service, Melanie. And I'll just quickly say, you know, we had a lot of really good. You may sit, please. A lot of good discussions about, you know, sometimes contentious about, you know, the appropriation of funds and, you know, funds requests. But I'll tell you something that I'm proud of. I'm not proud of myself. I'm proud of the board. Is that typically we would come to a consensus. Sometimes it might be a split vote, but never anything close to conduct other than what we would be proud of. Everyone was respectful, and we just had great board meetings. So thank you, board of directors. Hold your applause, because I would like to call the following retiring directors up to get your plaque, please. Ian Fletcher. Ian told me he wasn't going to be here. So how about Champ Lozano? Is Champ here? I know Lisa Mueller is here. Lisa, please come forward. TJ Pache. Kent Walker. Is Kent here? And Melanie Shore, our retiring sergeant at arms. Oh, I missed a very important slide. So boy, we really wanted to have a fantastic wild game feast this year. That was a lot of folks were identified that as something really important to our club. We did. We had about 1,500 folks show up. We raised over $158,000 for 3 impactful organizations that are serving very specific underserved populations in our community. The Gainesville Opportunity Center, the Child Advocacy Center, and the UF Mobile Outreach Clinic. We've got a picture up there of Jay giving Brett Buell of Gainesville Opportunity Center a check for $60,000. So I got to pick up the pace here. I know I've got a couple more minutes. So Jay, I've got something for you, buddy. Come on up here, please. It's going to take you a minute, I think. Jace. little Feastmaster hat for Jay. I realize that not everyone likes camouflage like Matthew Brady and I do, but so Jay, I know you don't have one of those, and we've got your name here, or it should be, as one of the Feastmasters. This is this monstrosity, I like to call it, stays out at Hatchet Creek, but it's got the names of all the Feastmasters since 1985. It's a pretty cool plaque, and we've got it updated with Jay and all the Feastmasters. So Jay, congratulations on a job well done. It's been wonderful working with you, and served to change lives. We made a huge impact through the Wild Game Feast. Let's give Jay and everyone who participated in the feast a round of applause. I'm bumping through this pretty quickly, but again, there are so many folks involved with this. If you showed up to the feast, if you sold tickets, if you participated in the work days, Jason Shank and the sponsorship crew, so many folks did so much to make this so successful. So thank you everyone who participated. Okay, I've got some special recognition I'm going to move through more quickly than I had intended, but again, past president Matthew Brady, man, you've just been great for me all year. Just being able to talk to you candidly about the club and what we're doing, the direction we're going, and the fact that you happen to be sitting here again today. Tom Collette couldn't be here, so Matthew's the one that steps in to run the AV. This is the kind of support he's given me all year. So let's applaud Matthew for his incredible service to the Rotary Club of Gainesville. A gift for you here. Okay, Jenny Van Hart is not with us, but Jenny hopefully is on Zoom. Probably is. She normally is. Thank you. Jenny, thank you for your support of my efforts in this club and your guidance this summer, the talks we've had about things we're trying to accomplish. Jenny, you've been great. I've got a gift for you. I look forward to seeing you soon and presenting it. Please applaud Jenny Van Hart. Helen Gilstrom. Helen has also been a wonderful source of information, and I'll try not to overuse the word guidance, but these past presidents, that's what they've given me is guidance and being able to bounce ideas off them. And Helen, thank you. I've got something for you also. I look forward to seeing you. I don't see Helen here today. Thank you. I know that our past treasurer, Buddy Goodman, is here. I saw him earlier, and Buddy and I went through a couple of months of having lunch over at Mildred's when I had a lot going on with work and some other stuff, and I was just kind of wide-eyed about how am I going to do this, and Buddy calmed me and gave me some good perspective. So thank you, Buddy. Come on up here. I want to give you something. Absolutely. All right, Ben Camp, and I could probably talk about you for a whole program, but I don't have time. But I'll say what you've been to me is an inspiration. That's what you've been to me. Thank you. Okay, and finally, I've got one more, and that is Linda Reinhardt. I'll tell you, I want to tell a quick story. Okay, so Linda, like I mentioned earlier, is our incoming president-elect, finishing up her term as secretary, and Jason Shank, somebody that I have some pretty good candid conversations with about really anything. When I told Jason I was on the nominating committee then that we had Linda coming in, he said, "Great, finally we got a female. Maybe we'll get something done that year." I thought that was pretty good, but and it was so appropriate because Linda is another one of those just determined and reliable, task-oriented ladies, not too dissimilar to Melanie, that I have just been able to rely on with anything I needed. Thank you, Linda. Okay. Okay, now we're getting into the President's Award. And I'm going to stick to the script here because I'm short on time. And I'll tell you that it was during the spring, that kind of time before I would begin serving as president, that I had lunch at the Bagel Bakery with our treasurer, Jeff Sims. Jeff had been the treasurer for years. And, you know, we hadn't really spent much time together outside of Rotary. I'll be honest, I didn't know Jeff that well yet. But I was quickly encouraged and really relieved that that Jeff embraced some of the ideas that we talked about and some things that we wanted to implement with the books. And specifically, I'm talking about we wanted to improve the communication and kind of the understanding that club directors would have with respect to our financial reports. You know, cut through the chase here, we wanted to improve really the clarity and the transparency that our financial reporting would have. And so our idea, or an idea that was given to me candidly by our accountant, Helen Gilstrom, was to develop a finance committee. We did that. Jeff embraced it, but didn't realize what was going to be involved with our committee, Eric, myself, Linda, and the astute CPA, Kathy Pierce, who was going to be supportive, but really it made Jeff's job about ×2. But Jeff has done so well, and I've enjoyed just getting to know Jeff. And I've got a photo here that I asked Jeff to send me. This is what Jeff calls, this is in his element. So I'm gonna just stop there, and I'm gonna Jeff, it's been wonderful working with you. Again, this is another one of those areas where I feel like Rotary service allows you to really build better friendships. So Jeff, thank you. I've got something for you here, and I want to show you. All right, well, I'm not going to bring this up to the camera, but Jeff, I happen to know Jeff and his wife enjoy an occasional glass of wine. I've got a nice plaque for Jeff also, but Megan and I have been, we found a nice Pinot, Jeff, from Sonoma. And we thought it'd be great for you guys. It's called Jackie. So let's give Jeff a round of applause for his wonderful service to our club. Okay, couple of special thank yous here. I need to really thank my family for sticking with me during the last year. It's let's just say it's been disruptive. It's been tough running a business, being a father, being a husband, and being the Rotary Club of Gainesville president. That's a lot. So Megan, I want to especially thank you. Okay. Something else I'd like to do quickly here is for Cecil. Buddy, I just want to tell you that Megan and I are so proud of you. You've the type of person that you are. You're the way you treat other kids, the way you treat your mother, your grandparents. I've kind of had a unique perspective with Cecil. I've had the opportunity to coach his little league teams since he was 5. He's now in middle school, so I can't do that anymore. But I've gotten to see the type of person he is. And so, Cease, we are recognizing you as a Paul Harris Fellow. This is a big deal. Please come on up here. Okay. Yeah, you guys can sit. Okay, and in closing, Elena, before we go to the next slide, kind of back to this whole togetherness thing. Is Ed Ellett here? So we had the service for Dalton yesterday, and at a point in the service, the officiant asked if friends wanted to come up and say something about Dalton, and a few people did. And Ed finally did towards the end. And what was neat was what Ed did up there. It was very impromptu, as he admitted when he was up there. But he described how Dalton loved the sense of togetherness of Rotary and the fellowship opportunities that we had. And Ed played a recording of a prayer that Dalton had done before his favorite fellowship, his annual favorite fellowship, the Lobster Fest. And it was beautiful. Dalton described how wonderful it was to do the work of Rotary and what we can accomplish together over the globe. And the fact that being together was so wonderful anyway on its own. And I just thought that was really nice. So before I bring Greg up here to pass the baton, I just want to thank everyone for your dedication to this club and for making this a wonderful year, and to thank you for a wonderful experience in the relationships that I got to build with all of you, the friendships that we built. Thank you. It's been wonderful for me. It's been a great year. Thank you. Okay, and now quickly, I'd like to applaud Elena. Please, Elena, thank you again. Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Greg Young, you are going to be a great president. You exhibit some of the qualities that that I hope maybe I do. You're very conscientious. You love this club, and I know you're going to do a wonderful job. I look forward to supporting you in whatever way I can. We've got yeah, right here. So in the interest of formality, we have Greg's new gavel. Our club is in wonderful hands. We're going to have a great 2023. Greg, you're going to be awesome. I look forward to working with you next year. The microphone is yours. Passing the baton.
Thank you, President David. I want to honor your year, outstanding year of service to our club. As you know, there's a lot of work that goes into doing this job. And so I want to thank President David for that time. And I believe with that, with the passing of the gavel, I look forward to seeing you next week. And I hope to, the rookie mistake. So do I dig or go for the one on the top? How about last three digits, 609? And with that, I will ring the bell.